Hi guys, it's Melanie Hinds. It's your fastest Iraqi Dinar summary on the net. I do this every day. It is sundown here in Maine. I took most of the day off, but the time was kind of sucked up with the meeting with the realtor. That's a longer story. I did some shorts about that. You can watch those. I did do some shorts. I got a lot of articles that I'll cover tomorrow if I don't have time tonight, because tomorrow my husband has got to work, and so I'll have more time tomorrow to cover the detailed articles. But the ones they wanted me to highlight to you, because I mentioned that there's some rumors through Mark Z's channel that people are getting paid. And this is what they sent. They sent me a message that said, the last two paragraphs tells you the reason this article about natural resources mapped out in our opinion. They didn't really say anything about people getting paid out, but they sent me a ton of articles today. So they didn't really say anything. My question was, any hot and juicy news from over there today? Mark Z is saying many people have gotten money. I will do a summary later today after 5 p.m. Any thoughts you have would be appreciated, and prayers for the sale of our home. So what I got later was a couple of Shafak articles. Iraq foreign minister resuming Kurdistan oil exports, crucial for Iraq. Yes, of course, to get the oil flowing. That means they're making money, and everybody needs to make money over there right now until they exchange the exchange rate. President Barzani was at the MSC 2025 meeting with the NATO secretary. President Barzani was at that meeting with the Dutch prime minister and French foreign minister. So he's continuing to send his highest leaders to do the global marketing stuff. It is a marketing campaign. And then the trade minister, food baskets coming for Ramadan. Ramadan starts on the 20th of this month. There is some kind of other pilgrimage that's the 15th through the 16th, which is starting, I guess, today, that the security forces were out for to make sure it was safe. They were installing cameras for that. That's what it was. And then the EU pledges to make Baghdad conference a success. Guys, a lot going on. And so here's the article. He said the last two paragraphs, and then he said, Prime Minister affirms the government's keenness for international cooperation. Al-Sudani and the U.S. Senator discuss cooperation between the U.S. and America, and that in their words, I'm going to read this article word for word. It says, the media statement said, he received at his residence in Munich the U.S. Senator from the Democratic Party, Senator Elisa Slotkin. During the meeting, relations and ways to enhance cooperation between Iraq and the United States were discussed in various fields in light of the joint agreements and understandings for a long-term strategic relationship that serves the interests of both parties. So they're there to assure the U.S. and Iraq is on the same page. It says, for her part, Senator Slotkin affirmed, according to the statement, her country's support for Iraq and its aspirations and its positions aimed at achieving security and stability. Those are the watchwords with Iraq. It has been for 2 years. In the region, in a way that secures the interest of the countries of the region and enhances sustainable stability. Guys, because that's the watchword for the UN, the WEF, everybody. It's all about security and stability in Iraq, and Iraq has done their part. What do you think? Comment down below. I think Iraq has done a great job of making sure it is secure and stable. So he said this was a good read. Al-Sudani meets with the EU Commissioner of the Mediterranean in Munich. Again, he's in Germany right now. And there he met with the EU Commissioner for the Mediterranean. He said, let's see, the meeting focused on relations with the European Commission and ways to enhance cooperation across various sectors, as well as the Iraqi government's efforts to convene the meeting of the joint subcommittees between the two sides. His best wishes to Suka on her new role, and reaffirmed Iraq's commitment to strengthening collaboration with the European Council, expressing a desire to convene the Bilateral Cooperation Council this year. He also emphasized the government's determination to resolve the issue of lifting the EU airspace ban on Iraqi airways, emphasizing the participation of Iraq's Civil Aviation Authority in the technical meeting with European Aviation Safety Team. Iraq's desire for all European countries to reopen their diplomatic missions in Baghdad, and confirmed that Iraq is currently considering opening new diplomatic missions in certain European cities. He also encouraged the EU to increase European investments in Iraq, particularly in environmental sustainability, energy, and modern agricultural technologies. She expressed her keen interest in strengthening economic relations and supporting their economy. Guys, everybody is like getting on the Iraqi bandwagon, and of course, we all know they're the key to make it cheaper to to transfer goods from the Port of Fa into Turkey, through Iraq, into Turkey. And then it said local and international intentions here in an article. Al-Hassan arrives and stresses the importance of rebuilding the heritage sites. Baghdad chosen as the capital of culture in the Islamic world for 2025. And that was more information on a previous article. Again, I can touch on that tomorrow. If there's anything, please, that you want me to expand upon, please comment down below. So the article he wanted me to expand on the last couple paragraphs is more importantly, probably the most important article out of all 10. It says, Prime Minister invites Planet Company to visit Iraq and cooperate on climate and geographical issues. He said during the meeting, the possibility of cooperation with the company in many exploratory and climate fields was discussed in light of the government's orientation towards developing the industrial sector by investing in natural resources in light of Iraq's reserves of mineral wealth. Iraq has a lot of stuff under the ground, guys. It's not just oil. Reserves of mineral wealth, especially sulfur and phosphate and others. I found that interesting. It said, according to the statement, Al-Sudani invited the company to visit Iraq to cooperate on climate and geographical issues and conduct comprehensive surveys in order to secure an integrated database that serves the investment of natural resources. See, that company maps out the ground and what's under it. It's really kind of interesting. It specializes in maps and geology is the study of rocks. So I just think it'll be fun to see what comes out of that, because Iraq is probably even wealthier than we think with their gold reserves and their oil that they're very well aware of. What about all the other things that's under the ground there? That's what's going on with Zim. That country is very wealthy under the ground. So that's why I say hold on to your Zim if you invested in the bonds. I didn't invest in the currency or the ZIG, because who knows if that's going anywhere, because that was the new currency they tried to launch. I haven't heard anything, but that businessman, I refer you back to that conversation with him that I've talked about before. So now we go to everybody else in my summary. So Funlu says people who will get paid before the official Forex listing are contract holders who contracted to sell private buyers, and they were pre-2011. So if you're not in a contract pre-2011, what he's stating, this is because of the law of one price. It is illegal to sell the same financial instrument for different prices in different markets. There are a few other groups that were sanctioned by the United States Treasury, but they are very few. It is a myth that you will be offered a contract rate at a redemption center. They just flat out said it. What do you think? Comment down below. You can always check my pinned comment. I offer a different way for you to find your own bank in your area. Neither exist in the real world. All sanctioned groups are under strict NDAs. So that's why you hear a lot about people under NDAs. And what you need to understand, unless you're a member of that contract prior to 2011, specifically October of 2011, then you're out. You're going to be left like us, negotiating the best rate you can, watching the timing of the market of when this is put out internationally. So that's what my pinned comment is down below for you to get that information of how you can fish for yourself. This is Samson article. Parliamentary Finance Committee expects to send budget tables next week. We broke that before. Militiaman, we all know there's a component of that tripart budget that hasn't been exposed, which we believe is the exchange rate of the new real effective exchange rate. This is where Mark Z had some intel today. He said, I find things are pretty interesting on who is where. Right now, we are being told Sudani's in Prague, one of his top deputies in the U.S. in New York. President Trump is now sitting down with India's Modi. So let's think BRICS. Let's think World Court. Let's think UN for monetary values exchange. We are talking World Court, UN, and pretty much everybody who is where they should be making something move. He enjoys watching geopolitical moves right now. Frank 26, what do we need in order to have a new exchange rate for the currency of Iraq? According to Frank, security and stability. I think it's the CBI article I've covered many times that talks about how the CBI is going to do something imminently to help stimulate the economy. So what do you think? Or haven't you heard that? Come tomorrow morning, I'll go over it again. I'll be live at 9 on Sunday morning if you want to join us. 9 a.m. Eastern time. Bruce says, let's see where we stand. We've heard from different sources, about 4 or 5 different sources that came in with very similar information, and with overall consensus is that it's ready to be started or ready for us to receive notifications. The next piece of intel that we received from a U.S. Space Force contract said that we would be exchanging, according to this source, no later than Saturday today. Have you gotten any email notifications? I haven't, and I'm signed up with a lot. Mountain Goat article, America stops the dollar cash to Iraq. We talked about that last night in my live stream at 5 p.m. So I cover all this stuff. I get it early, and then we cover it on all our live streams. Yesterday I did 2 live streams. Tomorrow I might do 3. You just have to make sure you're subscribed, tap the bell so you can be notified, and you can get on whichever one you can and ask me questions. Get in the chat to ask questions. Don't email me to ask me questions. Get in the chat to ask questions. It says, let's see. It says, remember, this is the use of cash dollar. Yeah, that was my point. They will still have electronic transfer from the Fed of dollars to Iraq, but this is a move that I believe is in agreement with the CBI to finally shut down the parallel market for good. I am in line with Mountain Goat on this one. This comes on the heels of the issue with Rafidian banks' continued smuggling of the cash dollars to Iran. This is an amazing article, a wow article. The U.S. is finally doing it. They should have cut off the dollar years ago. We would be much further ahead now in the RV process, but now it is being done. A good sign for us investors. How will this impact the Iraqi economy? Seems to me the U.S. wants the dinar to rise in value, and this may be leading us to something very, very important. Of course the U.S. wants it to rise in value because the U.S. holds a lot of the dinar. They want it to revalue, and that would help Trump with his first 100 days initiative. What do you think? Comment down below. Are you in? I don't know. Guys, I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. I'm praising God that I got this done. God bless.